Hey, welcome back. It's Mickey Mycorth, and I am glad to see you. Today, in our prosperity conversation, we're going to talk about the snuggle up with the struggle up. And the snuggle up with the struggle up is also for those of you who are high achievers, not everyone is rah, right? Some of us are introverts. So I remind you that yes, you can keep, ham fisting your way forward, but there's also another way. And there's this thoughtful, gentle, loving way to move forward in your life, and it will work. And we know from prosperity mindset in general that there's another way to be in the world and it'll make you more money. And we have lots of brands that are doing that work as we speak. So again, we're going to talk about snuggle up to the struggle up. And what I love about that is it kind of lets you exhale and go, let me thoughtfully, generously, believably, enchantingly move forward in my life in a way that makes sense for me. And what you're really trying to do, whether or not you're in our 12-week program, if you are in our accountability group, our mastermind group, whatever it is that you're following me with, or whatever classes that you're coming to, that you're going to see some of the same conversations. And that is that you have to, whatever it is that you want in life, you have to be able to execute on the things that are important to you, that you have to have repeatable patterns that are supportive. It doesn't matter how many of them you have. It sometimes you're going to have them for a while and you're not going to have them for a long time. That we only keep an average of 5 years of our life looking the same. So if you think back to your life 5 years ago, I bet it looked a lot different. That the friend groups usually change, that the way that you do things changes, the projects you're working on changes, that if you're, that's a natural progression time. 60 months is about how long people stay on something really devoted. As you're building your business, the business that you built 5 years ago isn't the business that's here. So when you want to think about what is that you're trying to do, always 100% of the time is what's the simplest thing is saying, what are the repeatable patterns I can do right now that are supportive to the dream that I have? So you have to think about that dream. And one of the things that's interesting about that dream is I bring in this cup as an example that I go, look, your dream has to fill this whole cup, right? A lot of people are just always just like sipping. I'll think about my future. But they don't actually go, hey, what has to be in this whole cup? Well, this whole cup to get to where you want to go needs thought. It needs a goal. It needs to go, what does this look like at the end? So when you're thinking about that, right? And remember, many of you are trying to get to peace. And peace is that there is a joyful path to our best self. I wrote that down because I wanted to remember it. Peace is that there is a joyful path to our best self. And that's what you're hoping for. So don't just sip off of it. You're going to want to go, what do I want in this cup? This is a complex cup. And one of the things that you should be fascinated by is that this is a complex gig, that your life, I wrote down, the world is fascinating and a conflicted place. It is a fascinating and conflicted place. So when you are growing, you will find conflict. You will find grief. You will find worry. You will find abandonment. You will find all of these things that happen. And what do you have to do? You got to snuggle. You got to snuggle with the struggle because that is this process. No one is going to donkey drag you forward to your own dream. You have to go, oh, I'm ready to move forward today. Oh, I can do this. Yeah, yeah, you can. So there's a lot of pebble drops. And if you're only dropping one pebble at a time, that's not enough. So you also want to go, what is it that I can do right now? And some of those are very simple things. Put your shoes on. Put your shoes on. Something as simple as putting your shoes on says to your whole body, oh, we're going somewhere. That there are just put on real clothes. Get out of your sweats. Put on real clothes. That that I can't believe how many people stopped wearing clothes after COVID. So put on some clothes, get your shoes on, get outside, decide. Decide, make a decision that you're going to do this one thing or this 5 things or this 10 things, and then just do some of it. So when you're looking for that advice, I would not, everybody's going to the big things of like, what would my future self like? What would I want to impress my future self. Well, I love that. But right now, I would focus on the exhale, how you can really get clear on what you want in this cup. And then I need you to start sipping off of it regularly. So you got to snuggle up with those patterns. That pebble in the pond, that one thing, right? That's the difference maker. And you're not just looking for any pebble of, oh, I showed up today. Well, but did you? Did you really show up for yourself today? And eh, I sometimes remind people that you're presenting yourself, but you're not actually showing up. And there's a big difference. And what you want for yourself is something that's a little more. So a lot of people are presenting themselves, but they're not showing up. Showing up is that all of me is here. I'm healthy. I'm alive. I'm ready to engage. I have agency. So when people tell you in that meeting, when they're a disaster, they stopped wearing real clothes, they're wearing pajama bottoms to the store, that they stopped doing real basic things, and they say, well, I'm showing up. No, no, you're presenting yourself. Showing up means that you are complete, that you are going to be here. So I give people this quote that I wrote that my son gave to me, which is on parenting. If you've ever parented adults, they're a nifty trick. It's nifty. It's nifty. Parenting adult children isn't like parenting small children. But what you want to really think about is, right, I can count on it, but I can't rely on it. I can count on it. I can't count on it, but I can rely on it. That's what it says. I can't count on it, but I can rely on it. So they can't count on my support on some things, but they can rely on it. So for him growing up, if he gets himself into a swipe, would I help? Absolutely. But you can't rely on that. So can I count on that for support? Sure, but I can't rely on it. And a lot of us miss that in our lives, that there's a lot of things that we rely on that weren't things that were there to rely on. So you have to think about the fact that you want your life and you want your cup full and that you have a future, but you have to decide what that is. And then you have to decide who the players are that you want with that. And then you get to think about these patterns. And getting the life that you want is about patterns that are consistent and persistent. And these are repeatable patterns that are supportive. Lots and lots of people, 99.9% of us, have patterns that are not supportive. So, patterns of what you're eating, patterns of how you're spending your time, patterns of what you're avoiding. These are patterns, but they're not supportive. So, just go back in and go, this is what I'm going to snuggle up with. I'm snuggling up with the struggle up. And that's finding patterns. First of all, putting in patterns that go, this isn't helping me. This isn't helping my current self. It's not helping my future self. It's not, I don't even want that in my cup. I don't want that in my cup. So think about what you want and keep putting that in. And I remind everybody, this is a fascinating place. The world is a fascinating place, but it's also conflicted. And a lot of times when we're moving forward, we're finding these places of conflict within ourselves, within our past, within our financials, within a lot of parts. So gentle, gentle. So decide your journey, decide what you want in this cup, and not just a little sip. Mm. This is your cup. Fill it with everything that you like. Decide your journey. And then the last part that I wrote down for you is coach up. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. So if I can't see you in class, I love to see you here. So sometimes you can't make it to class, but this is a place that we can hang out. So thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for considering what you're doing. Thank you for being that cooperative player in your life. that you are willing to go, wow, I can do things today that make my life better, more more processed, but you can do it. And just hanging out here with me is proof of that. So have a great day. I will see you soon. If you have a comment, leave it below. I read them, all your friends read them, and it's a good thing. All right. Have a great day. Bye.